Hey there guys, it's JP here and I'm back. This time we're going to be doing something a little different here. I'm just going to be doing like the usual deck spotlight, but I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of like just because I felt like it here. And I want to show you this version of Malygos Rogue here that I've been playing around with. Basically this is like the most popular deck that I've ever made, I think. Again, it's not really all that serious of a deck, but I'm just gonna show you how it works here, and excuse me, and yeah, we'll play a game. Hopefully we win it, and then I'll show you how the deck works. And if it loses, then don't play this deck, I guess. And casual. Look at me, such a noob at rank 18 and shit. Like, playing casual with a Malygos Rogue. Alright, here's what's gonna go down, right? Because I play a lot of Hearthstone. Alright, I know exactly what's going on here. This guy's gonna be Token Druid. Alright, that's he's gonna play Token Druid on casual. Innovate Shade of Naxxramas. If not, he's gonna pass, but here it comes. Innovate Shade of Naxxramas. Oh, Harvest Golem, okay, that's fine. Do I actually care about that? I don't think I do, so just so that you know, this hand is appalling. Like, don't ever play this hand. It's really bad. So I'm okay taking a bit of early damage here. Usually that's how this matchup goes anyways. So I'm gonna weapon up here and end the turn. I would have really liked the deadly poison, but no such luck. So I had to put up with it here. As usual, you know, he turn once, innovates, and then this happens. He has like no follow up after that. That's the deadly poison, right on cue. All right. 8 damage on turn 3. Perfect. Absolutely perfect, right? This is don't worry guys, we still got this. Right, he's gonna chew with Yeti now. I hate being right. I hate being right. So how do I want to do this? I would love to kill this without having to use the coin. So I guess we do it like this.
This guy's
Here we go.
Right, so if he has Force Nature, we just die. There's no coming back this game, I think. The difference is just too big. Next turn, I'll probably Assassin's Blade. Again, it depends on what he drops here, but most likely it's gonna be the Assassin's Blade. Yeah, it's a rough. That's fine. So he'll go for my face, and we'll go for his. Unless I pick up something like a Zua Drake, something along those lines here. Nope, that's fine.
Here we go.
So let's hope he doesn't have Harrison. Turn 6 would be the what do you call it? That really big half fairy dragon. Oh, he's going Force of Nature. Wow, that's really shocking. I guess he has the combo in his hand here. Yeah, looks like we're gonna get wrecked here. Oh, maybe not.
Here we go.
Actually, really curious about that move here. Why would you do that? Turn 6 Force of Nature. That's the ancient. That's fine. Kind of expected that. And the answer is no, we are not going to go face with this. You know what, I need to start fishing here, so... yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So we've kind of caught up a little bit here. He's got a huge advantage though, largely because he got a really good opening and we didn't have any solutions till turn 3, I believe. And again, this is like really bad because, you know, I haven't gotten my gadget sands or my Azure Drakes, no early drops. But we're still holding our own. I wouldn't say we're winning, but we're holding our own at least. This is indicative that he has the Force of Nature Savage Raw combo. I do not like the look of this, but... let's see what we can get done here. That's sort of nice, I guess. Alright, that's the good old Malygos here. So we're gonna set that. I don't mind. Ah man, if only I had one more mana here. I think it makes no difference here, but pretty sure we did. The fact that he Force of Natured so early means he's got this Force Savage combo in his hand. So here it comes, Force of Nature Savage Raw. Oh, I guess not. That's kind of weird. The way he played kind of suggested that he did here. Ah, that's the Blade Flurry. That was what I was fishing for earlier. Oh, do I have lethal here? No, I don't, do I? Can go fishing, I guess. Okay, another question is, do I go for it or not here? I think I do here. It's getting really close. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. I think we did. Yeah, it was really close here, but again, druids can be really hard with that kind of opening hand, so apparently it's not ramp. Oh, it's ramp druid, or some kind of hybrid ramp with Force of Nature and Ancient of Wars. It's kind of weird. I'm surprised he's still fishing here. I could have sworn he would have lethal. Alright, so it looks like we win here. Now let's just make sure that's lethal.
I'm almost out of cards.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so it looks like we actually won here. Again, this match is actually a lot more one-sided usually. But he had a really good opening hand and we had no solutions. So let me just show off my new Malygos Rogue here. Where is it? There we are, big spells. Gotta love the big spells. So usual opening half, I guess. 2 backstabs. Just brilliant card. One of the most powerful cards in the game actually. And this is the card that you want to be fishing for every time in your opening hand. Because it's... well, usually you want to use it with the Gadget Zan. Against things like Zoo and stuff, you need it in your opening hand and you just die. The preparations you don't actually want to keep in your opening hand. You want to keep it for later in the game. Like you want to pick it up instead of having it in your opening hand. Same for the conceal. I run a single conceal in here. I'm not sure what else you could put in. I guess if you really want to have fun, you could put in a second, like a betrayal or a sap in here. But I like to conceal just because it keeps the Malygos alive on turn 10. Because the biggest problem with the melee rogue, of course, is casting spells after you drop the Malygos because it's a 9-drop. So yeah, you want to try and keep it alive. So you usually what you do is you turn. Um, I mean, previously what I didn't have in here was the Assassin's Blade. I took out the Assassin's Blade. I had the what's it called? Alexstrasza, right? Which basically means the whole time all I had to do was just wrestle for board control, and then Alexstrasza turn 9, melee conceal turn 10, and then you go ahead and smash all the spells and the Alexstrasza into his face, and you probably win. Not the problem with that was that I usually found that I rarely had the problem of reducing his health down to 15. Like as you saw in the last game, I actually reduced his health from like over 30 down to 0 pretty efficiently. Um, so yeah, the extras I felt wasn't needed, so I took it out here. Though you could leave it in and take out the conceal just in case you're worried about things like aggro. Against Zoo, generally you're gonna have a harder time beating him down with the spells with like the Malygos Rogue was meant to do. But you usually end up winning with your minions because the spells remove the creatures, and then you just have a whole bunch of minions on the field, and then those minions just smash what your opponent has usually. Um, it's actually a pretty favorite matchup against Zoo, if I do say so myself. The Deadly Poisons one again. Once again, it's kind of like early removal. It's also one of the win conditions with Assassin's Blade because if you manage to get it on an Assassin's Blade, that's 2 plus 3, that's 5, 5 times 4, that's 20 damage off the Assassin's Blade alone. So that's another way you can play around this. Use your minions, use your spells, and rely more on the Assassin's Blade. Or rather, use your minions and spells to wrestle for board control, and then use the Assassin's Blade to pick up the win. Because you only have to do 10 damage after that, so that's the thing as well. The 2 Sinister Strikes is basically for Malygos. I think they're just massier, and it helps cycle a little better. You could take out 1 Sinister Strike for a sap if you're really worried about aggro. But I think 1 sap is enough. If handlock becomes more prominent, I guess 2 saps would be better. But saps just delay things against handlock. This deck doesn't beat handlock no matter what, I think. Once in a while it does, but usually it doesn't. It's definitely a losing battle there. The Eviscerates are a must. I run 2 Blade Flurries for one reason and one reason alone. That's because there's a lot of Zoo and Hunter going around. And the Blade Flurry totally wrecks them. It just does. Especially with things like Deadly Poison on your normal weapon, which is like a 3 damage AoE basically. It's like a high roll on Lightning Storm all the time. Of course, you lose the weapon and Deadly Poison, but that's not the point. The whole point is wiping the board. And that's what this deck excels at if you really control the board. As you saw like earlier, he had minions on the board, and I had no problems like getting rid of them. Except for the first 2 turns, but that was just pure unlucky by me. Alright, 2 Eviscerates. Eviscerates are just like, probably, in my personal opinion, they're like the best spells in this deck. Just because of the 4 damage. It helps remove big things like Yetis and stuff. And if you manage to hold on to it to the late game with Malygos, it's basically 9 damage. It's like a Pyroblast. It's like 1 damage off of Pyroblast for 2 mana. Makes no sense. Again, the 1 sap is in here for control matchups, big creatures like Ancient of Wars and stuff, or if you really feel under pressure. The sap is really helpful, especially against things like Druid, where they need the minion on the board for the Savage Raw combo. So the sap just gets rid of a really big body for you. I run 2 Shifts. Shifts has really nice synchronization synergy in this deck, just because of the sheer number of spell power that's in here. But we'll get to that later on. That's the, or I guess not that later on. The next card here is Blood Mage Thalnos, which if you guys haven't noticed here, basically half the deck is less than 2 mana. Blood Mage Thanos is your first minion from among this first half. And what you do with Thanos is basically it helps with things like Shiv and Fan of Knives and stuff. Worst case, it absorbs a what do you call it? Earthshot, and then it does nothing for you. And he trades pretty well because it's a 1 mana spell for a 2 mana creature. But that's not entirely big loss either. Still, generally this card is just in here to pick up one one additional card. The +1 spell damage usually doesn't come into effect. But I tend not to hold on. I tend to hold on to this card in my hand till I see a threat come down. Then I'll combo it with something like a deadly point, a backstab, or a eviscerate. That's for that +1 spell power. Fan of Knives is kind of a sweeper with all the haunted creepers and stuff going around. +1 spell power means you get rid of the broken thing from the Sludge Belcher, the leftover ooze. With Malygos, it's basically like a 6 damage AoE removal. But it's rarely the case. Usually you're doing about 1 or 2 damage with this. But that's fine. It's more for the card draw anyways. What single Earthen Ring? We didn't get to see the Earthen Ring in action the last game. And you rarely actually do play the Earthen Ring. This card is just in here basically to fight against aggro. And it does pretty well actually against aggro. 90% of the time. It soaks up 1 or 2 creatures or smaller creatures, so it helps a lot here. You could run into Earthen Rings. I did for a while, but I actually find that the Edwin Van Cleave is actually slightly better here in this deck, just because against Zoo, the Edwin is just like a huge body 90% of the time. And against Priest, you can get it to be a 4/4 if you play a single card before it. Combo it, it becomes a 2/2. Against Druid, you get like 3 cards or so. It becomes a 6/6. It's a massive creature, and they usually struggle against the massive creatures. So Van Cleave just fits slightly better. But if you're really, really, really afraid of aggro, I guess you could put in a second Earthen Ring. But I wouldn't recommend the Earthen Ring over the Van Cleave. I think even against aggro, Van Cleave is just better. But that's just me. I'm not sure about what you guys feel or how you feel about it. But I would recommend Van Cleave just so that you know. We have 2 SI7 agents because they're just really good. They combo with things like backstab and stuff. The 2 damage is really nice. The body is really nice as well. This is more against aggro. Assassin's Blade is mostly used against the control matchup. Just because it can be really hard to get minions on the board. And in that last game, as you saw, the Assassin's Blade got a lot of damage in. So if you have to control the board with your spells, Assassin's Blade is basically your main source of weapon here. Of damage, rather. Next, we got the good old Azure Drakes. I don't think there's any question why these guys are in the deck. It just synergizes really well. Get 1+1 spell power, you draw a card. That's everything you want in this deck. All you need is spell power and cards, right? So Azure Drake is in here. It's a really nice 4/4 body against Priest. Next we got the good old Gadget Sand, basically the very center of this card. 90% of the time, if you win you're rarely winning games with this deck without drawing the Gadget Sand. So once again, Gadget Sand, you pick up all your cards, blah blah blah. You know the routine, right? Nothing new here. Sludge Belchers are in here. Previously, I used to had the Senjin Shield Masters. I felt that the Sludge Belchers were too slow, but as I played more and more, I ended up preferring the Sludge Belchers. Previously, just so that I didn't have the Conceal or the what's it called? The second Blade Fury. I actually ran 2 Senjin Shield Masters. But they were too slow against aggro for some reason. They just felt like they weren't effective enough. So this is kind of what, after enough playing, it kind of ended up like this here. But yeah, we were talking about Sludge Belchers. There's nothing much to say about this. It's just an amazing card here. Worst case is gonna eat a silence. Best case, um, it absorbs 2 or 3 minions, especially against Zoo. It just wrecks faces. That's because you absorb so many attacks that buys you a lot of time. And then we, of course, this is the Malygos Rogue. You have to end it off with the good old, not Ysera, but Malygos. So the +5 spell damage, nothing fancy here. So yeah, that's basically the deck, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you guys spotted any misplays here. I think that game went as well as it could have, despite having the really bad hand here. Um, but yeah, that's just me. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll be back with pretty soon with another Hearthstone video for you guys. This has been JP signing out.